Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
A Time for Truth show is sponsored by the Office of Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, a periodontal, dental implant and laser specialist in New York City, for over 40 years. Dr. Fialkoff was honored by the International College of Dentists and Pierre Fauchard, and received the Presidential Lifetime Humanitarian Honor from the White House. Call us at 718-229-3838.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome to A Time for Truth show. I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, and it's a pleasure to be back with you again tonight. And we have a very special show for you because it has to be in my profession, the dental profession. And we have a very important guest with us tonight, done a tremendous amount of work, and we're going to introduce you to him. And Buddha, if you put up his pictures, this is Dr. Nicolas Rallis, the founder of Center for Smiles, a leading dental practice in Bayside, New York. His center provides family, cosmetic, and implant dentistry, and he's a national leader in the treatment of what's called temporomandibular joint disorders. Dr. Rallis is an associate faculty member and director of the New York City Dawson Study Club. He teaches the core curriculum with fellow faculty, as well as lecturing and presenting extensively for local and national and international clubs. From 2008 to 2017, he served as a clinical instructor for the NYU College of Dentistry in the Division of Full Mouth Rehabilitation Continuing Education Program, and is former speaker for Invisalign, a special technique of straightening and aligning your teeth. Dr. Rallis graduated from NYU College of Dentistry in 1988 and completed his general practice residency at the New York Hospital of Queens Medical Center, and has been in group practice since 1990. In 1994, he earned a teaching degree in Byzantine music from the Romanos or Melodos Music Conservatory from his home in Greece, actually in Athens, Greece. Dr. Rallis enjoys teaching other colleagues, directing a professional choir, traveling, taking and participating in many outdoor activities. And he especially loves spending time with his family. And who can blame him? Renee, Ross, Nicole, and Danielle. And Renee and Dr. Rallis have been married now for over 35 years. And Buddha, if you will, let's bring him up live on the screen and bid a warm welcome to Dr. Nicolas Rallis to A Time for Truth show. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
Yes, and congratulations on 35 years.
35 years and 2 grandsons now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's beautiful.
Very nice. And you're really well-rounded. So I'm really curious, because you love music, you love doing so many things. Did you always know when you were young you were going to be a dentist?
Did I always know? I knew from high school. I actually went into the 7-year dental program right out of high school. I knew I wanted to become a dentist, and I applied to the 7-year program at NYU, and I was one of the fortunate ones to make the program. So I went straight through NYU undergraduate, NYU dental school.
Very nice. So
Yeah.
very efficient.
Very. As definitely efficient.
Well, you know, one of the things I saw is I was looking at your curriculum vitae, the things that you've done, that you really organize and direct like almost like I would say like a laser beam, right?
Like a director of a choir, maybe?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious because, you know, a lot comes from our parents. Were your parents that way, or did it just come from you?
My parents are just, I'm going to say, regular people in a sense that they were laborers, both of them.
Yes.
I was actually the very first one in my family to go to college.
Okay. Well, you've done tremendous amount.
Well, thank you.
And I know you're welcome. You and I are in the same area for so many years together. It's a pleasure to have you here finally. So
thank you.
I wanted to, oh, you're welcome. I was wondering, there's been, as you and I know, so many advances in the dental profession. So one of the things that we wanted to give you in this show is, because we have the expert here, is tell us a little bit about how does the bite, how does our mouth actually affect health?
Wow, it's a big question. Absolutely. So when we talk about the health of our head, now being dentists, we speak about taking care of our teeth, but being dentists, we also have to take care of the areas around our mouth, okay? Namely, the muscles that we have and the joints. So the muscles, we use our muscles all day. When we bite, when we eat, and we extend tremendous forces on our teeth and in the muscles of our face. So when our bite is not correct, what happens is that our muscles go out of alignment. And when our muscles go out of alignment, we get headaches, we can get migraines, we can get joint issues in our TMJ. TMJ has become a very, very big area, especially ever since COVID. People have a lot of stress. They bite very hard, they grind their teeth at night. The sleep apnea involved. There are so many factors that are involved. We definitely need to keep our joint, our TMJ, healthy.
Well, that's what I was going to say for the viewers, because you and I are dentists and we're always involved in this. But let's explain to them what exactly is the temporomandibular joint, how does it work, and so that they have an idea.
I'm going to make it very simple, and this is how I teach my patients also.
Yes.
We have the lower jaw in our head, and the lower jaw is the jaw that moves. The upper jaw doesn't move, obviously. Okay, it's part of our skull. Right in front of our ear is where the lower jaw and the upper jaw come together. That's where the bones come together, and that's our joint, our temporomandibular joint. Most people know it, called the TMJ. All joints in the body have to work from a fully seated position. They have to be fully aligned. The TMJ is a joint that's a ball and socket joint, like our shoulder and our hip.
I see.
Okay? So if our hip is not aligned, we would have a very difficult time walking or standing up. The same thing with our shoulder, the same thing with our jaw. So our joints have to be aligned. When we open and close our mouth, the teeth have to fit in a certain way. They have to fit together in a certain way. If they don't, what happens is they move the jaw out of alignment and the joint misaligns. When the joint misaligns, our muscles, therefore, are misaligned. The reason why the jaw doesn't fit together is because when the teeth bite and they bite wrong, they pull our muscles, and the muscles pull the jaw in a way that is unnatural. So you have certain muscles that pull and certain muscles that push. When the muscles that push to close the jaw are working, the muscles that pull the jaw have to stop working. They can't work together. So when the muscles fight, we get a lot of muscle tension and a lot of muscle headaches, a lot of migraines. So our goal is to always have a joint, a TMJ that's aligned properly while our teeth are biting 100%. That's the key. So in our body, we as dentists, okay, you're a periodontist, you want to make sure that you're basically fighting disease. And you want to make sure that you take care, or you try to take care of the bacteria in patient's mouth that cause periodontal disease. But besides the bacteria, there's also forces that along with the bacteria can cause a lot of damage to the periodontium, to the bone or to the gum around the teeth. And that's what we need to control. We need to control bacteria, and we need to control forces. The forces have to be aligned properly, and the bacteria have to be not in the mouth. Bad bacteria.
Absolutely. And you know what? A lot of patients, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers, ask, well, it's only one tooth, you know, and I'm chewing okay. Let's say they lost a molar. And why do I need to replace it? And so that's a question that many times people ask. So what is the big deal, or what is really the big deal, of when somebody loses, let's say, a molar tooth, let's say it's a first molar, what are the ramifications of what can happen that affect what you're talking about with the bite and the teeth? And
so you're so right, because a lot of times people will say, you know, it doesn't really show when I smile. Do I really need it? You know, it doesn't, I can eat properly with it. I'm fine.
Right.
That may be okay for a little while. But then what happens is the body doesn't like voids. The body doesn't like areas that are not filled. Okay, when there's a void in the body, something will fill it. The same thing in our mouths. When there's a tooth that's missing, other teeth will shift to try and close that space. Let's say if you're missing a lower tooth, the upper teeth will drift down. Teeth have to touch. And teeth always move. They can move down and they can move up. So when you're missing a lower tooth, the upper teeth are going to start to shift down. The lower teeth behind it are going to try to come forward. So then your teeth, instead of being straight, they're going to be sort of leaning. And then when that tooth that's leaning, when you bite down, you're going to be hitting first on that tooth. And the ramifications of what I explained earlier are going to happen, where you may be biting first on that tooth, and then that initial bite, that premature bite, will put the joint out of alignment.
I see. So what happens is then they can start getting some pains and stresses, or just like binding up of the muscles. Or
Absolutely. The muscles are going to get sore. The joint is going to get sore. You may start to hear some clicking in the joint, some popping. Patients a lot of times have a hard time opening all the way. They have restrictive opening because the jaw and the muscles are very sore. So they can't really open their mouths that wide. And that presents a problem also in our lifestyle and in our comfort.
And then, so, you know, sometimes people say, you know, this tooth is touching first, or my bite doesn't feel the same. Tell our viewers a little bit about when the bite needs to be adjusted, when it shouldn't be adjusted, or that feel there with how the bite should mesh together, or whatever.
So a lot of times patients come and see us because we treat a lot of temporomandibular joint disorders in our practice. So patients come to see us and they say, you know, this issue started when I had a crown placed. It felt kind of weird for a couple of days, but then it felt okay. Well, you know, the body has a way of sort of getting rid of any interferences, where there's something that's called proprioception, okay? And I'm going to explain this to the viewers. So let's say you touch a hot stove and you get burnt. our central nervous system knows that when we touch something hot, we're going to get burned, so we're going to try to avoid it next time. That's how we teach our children and our grandchildren,
Sure.
right?
Exactly.
It's the same thing when we bite down and something is in the way and a tooth hits before the rest of the teeth. Teeth have sensors in them. The nerves in the teeth have sensors that go directly into our brain, into our central nervous system. So that premature contact will trigger something in our brain, and it's going to tell our brain that there's something in the way and now we have to avoid it. So next time we bite, automatically we're going to avoid the tooth and bring our jaw in a position that's going to avoid that tooth. But in avoiding that tooth, we bring our joint out of alignment. So then we have our joint out of alignment properly, where the muscles actually have to pull the jaw forward to get that tooth out of the way. Over time, what's going to happen is we're going to start to get headaches because the muscles now are not in harmony. The muscles that close the jaw and the muscles that pull the jaw are now fighting. So muscles cannot be fighting in the body. Everything has to work in harmony.
Sure.
Right?
It's like a family. Yeah. Sure.
Absolutely.
Organization. Anyway.
Yeah. So when that happens over time, we start to get headaches. We start to get joint clicking, sometimes migraines, even toothaches, because now the teeth are not biting correctly, where teeth are biting out of alignment. So then we start to get toothaches.
Interesting. And so now, I don't know if this is disrelated or happens because of this, or sometimes yes, sometimes no, but many times we get patients, they complain, well, I'm getting like this ringing in the ear, or, I really get horrible migraines, and, I suffer from migraines. When I do, I can't go anywhere, I got to stay in, or, tell us a little bit about that and how it is or isn't related.
I'm going to say that when we see, a lot of the times we see patients from ENTs.
Yes.
They are referred to our office. And the first thing they'll say is that we've done our full exam. There is nothing wrong with this person's ears. But yet they have ringing in the ear and they feel like they have a fullness in their ear. It's sort of like you're constantly hearing the ocean, constantly.
Yes.
That type of fullness.
Yes.
Well, the temporomandibular joint is literally right in front of our ear. So when there is muscles that are being pulled and muscles that are being pushed, and the joint is out of alignment, the balance within the ear is going to be affected, and you're going to get that tinnitus, which is called that ringing in the ear. What we have to do is we have to put the joint back in alignment. And that's what we do. We do that either by adjusting the bite or by putting the teeth back in the position that they belong. Because like we said before, sometimes we lose teeth shift.
Right.
And sometimes we have to do orthodontics to put the teeth back where they belong so that we can realign the joint.
Very nice. So this is what you use this Invisalign for?
This is what we use, the clear aligners for. So there's three ways that we can actually move teeth.
Yes.
That we can actually fix this. One is, the most conservative way is to realign the bite by putting the teeth back where they belong. And then opening the space and perhaps putting an implant there or whatever it is to replace that missing tooth. The other is that we do restorations on the teeth sometimes to make the teeth bite properly. The other thing is we take off the high spots of the teeth, what we call an occlusal adjustment, a bite adjustment.
So bite adjustment,
And a lot of times, the most conservative things to do is to do a combination of all three. a little bit here, a little bit there, where you take a look at and you see, well, what tooth needs this and what tooth needs that. And instead of doing, let's say, an overwhelming thing on using one modality, sometimes you have to use all three to get the best result that is actually the most conservative on the teeth. Yeah. Some teeth need to be added on, some teeth need to be moved, and some teeth need to be just adjusted.
Interesting. And now, so that sometimes we get people and they grind their teeth, or they say, I'm bruxing my teeth, and they're wearing their teeth, and some come in that looks like the teeth are gone. It's just like there's some white thing in the gum lines, and they ground so much. How does that affect, again, health?
Well, number one, it affects our digestive system because we can't really chew the food properly. There's a reason why teeth have anatomy, okay? And the reason why teeth have anatomy is because they fit together in a certain way. Mm-hmm. When the teeth are ground to the point where you're literally skiing on ice, okay? Right. Yeah. We ice skate on ice and we ski on snow, right?
Right.
So we like to say that when we have our full teeth, we ski on nice snow. When you're skiing and you're skiing on ice, it's a scary thing.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
For all the skiers out there.
Oh, I
and this is how we explain this to our patients. When your teeth are flat, you're literally just grinding all over the place.
Right.
Okay. Your joints don't know where to stop, and they don't know where to stop. Now, teeth always erupt in the body. Mm-hmm. So we see people that have very, very short teeth, yet the teeth are still fitting together. It's because when the teeth wear, they actually, like I said before, they will actually shift so that they can still keep on meeting each other.
Right.
And it's a scary thing when that happens because sometimes the nerve gets exposed. People have a lot of pain a lot of times.
Yes.
So
this is something we need to fix.
It's something we need to fix, yeah.
What would you recommend to the people out there, like people who are grinding their teeth and doing this, and they see their teeth are getting smaller? What kind of appliance or treatment would you recommend?
Well, most dentists will use a night guard, and most patients who see us have night guards.
Uh-huh.
The issue with a night guard, though, is that it's a flat, plain device which actually simulates a flat tooth.
Yes.
What we really need is an orthotic.
Orthotic.
What an orthotic device is, sort of like an orthotic that we put on our shoes when our posture is not right.
That's what I was thinking about when you were talking, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing. An orthotic, it's actually something that's fabricated that will put the jaw in the correct position so that when we're biting down or when we're grinding our teeth, we don't grind on our teeth the wrong way. The corrected bite is when we grind our jaw side to side, we're really not supposed to be grinding on our back teeth.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we have certain teeth that guide the jaw,
yes,
but other teeth really are not supposed to be hitting. When we start to grind on our back teeth, our muscles get stimulated, and we get headaches. So when we construct a perfect bite on somebody, we make sure that the back teeth don't grind when we go inside to side. We chew up and down and our teeth meet. But when we grind side to side, our teeth are not supposed to be meeting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people, especially the spouse of the person who's snoring, complain and say, wake up, because there's so much snoring and sounds and they can't sleep. But even more, I'm curious, because I think this is important for the viewers to realize, what are the effects of snoring on that person who is snoring?
Well, now
Is
we're
it just
coming,
noise, or is
now
it
we're
like-
coming to a different issue.
Okay.
Okay. You know, airway and getting oxygen is very important
Yes.
for us as humans and for all living beings, right? So when we snore, a lot of times people who snore also have what we call sleep apnea.
Yes.
Okay.
Stopping breathing at night.
Yeah. Our body needs oxygen to function. Okay. And our body needs oxygen to rest. And if our body doesn't rest, it doesn't heal itself. People who snore really should check with their medical doctor to make sure that they don't have sleep apnea.
Yes.
Okay, because when you hear an ambulance at 2 a.m. going to somebody's house, it's not somebody who's had a heart attack. It's somebody who's died from sleep apnea.
Wow.
Sleep apnea is fatal. In a lot of cases, a lot of people die from not breathing, from stopping to breathe.
It's very dangerous.
Very dangerous. And there's a lot of and there's instances where we've had patients that have gone for tests, and sometimes they stop breathing 30, 40 times an hour,
Wow.
which is a lot.
A lot of lack of oxygen.
It's a lot of lack of oxygen, yeah.
Wow.
So a lot of times when people wake up and they have to catch their breath, it means that they've stopped breathing.
Wow.
And you know, it's very scary.
Well, you know, the show has been so informative and so much fun, and I'm sure you all agree you've gotten so much information from Dr. Rallis. Unfortunately, like everything that's really nice, the time has flown by. It reminds me of that Carol Burnett song, you know, just when you think it started, comes a time to say goodbye. Yeah. But, you know, Dr. Rallis, thank you, first of all, for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And I think you all enjoyed it. And you know what? He actually does music also, aside from being a great dental practitioner. So we're going to see if we can convince him to give us a show on music. Would that be okay?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
We can talk about it. And for those of you out there, let's pay heed to the bite. You probably didn't realize there was so much importance. But now, thanks to this informative segment from Dr. Nicholas Rallis, you can find him in Bayside. He's there with his center, with the whole team. And it's been a pleasure to be with you. I hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll see you on the next episode of A Time for Truth show. Be well.
Thank you.
This show was sponsored by A Time for Truth Foundation Incorporated as a community service.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet